That is Devyani Khobragade's arrest. The question we are asking here, should India demand a formal apology from Washington for humiliating and denying immunity to the Indian diplomat on frivolous grounds? There have been varied amount of reactions coming in. We've also heard from Devyani's father, who's saying that this is an insult to the entire nation and the onus is clearly on India here to show that this is not a soft nation.
Today, the Indian Lok Sabha Speaker Meera Kumar and National Security Advisor Shiv Shankar Menon cancelled their meetings with the visiting bilateral Congress delegation because of Ms. Devyani. Are you concerned?
I think I'd probably point you to the congressional delegation to comment on that. I'm happy to look into what happened exactly further. I just don't know the details, and if I have anything more to share tomorrow, I'm happy to do so.
I just want to clarify some points. There are reports now that the Indian diplomat was strip-searched in police custody. We are expecting other nations to respect our diplomats. Why we are not respecting the basic courtesies that should go to a diplomat in this case? This will not be DOJ, this will be the State Department.
Well, I'd make a couple points. The State Department's diplomatic security followed standard procedures during the arrest. After her arrest, she was passed on to the U.S. Marshals for intake and processing. So for any additional questions on her treatment, obviously this would be the U.S. Marshals and not us, I would refer you there.
But
yeah, go ahead.
Just a quick follow-up. That we expect a certain degree of courtesy from others, and the Indian government has repeatedly asked now, what is your reaction? What reaction have you given to the Indian government? And then there is another thing that the Indian government has said, that Indian government had conveyed to the US administration about the maid fleeing. Why nothing was done? No action was taken for that.
Well, again, that's why diplomatic security, which is under the State Department purview, followed standard procedures during her arrest. In terms of that specific, I think I'd probably, if it's part of the ongoing investigation and case, I'd have to point you to the Department of Justice for those specifics. I just don't have those details.
So there you are, the US State Department, but back home, the diplomat's family that is outraged at the treatment meted out to their daughter say that this is an insult to the entire nation. We've heard from Devyani Khobragade's father, who's also likely to meet the Home Minister and the External Affairs Minister later today.
That day she was Consul General of the India. I tell you, this is not, my daughter is not stripped, India's prestige is stripped. She was, and was it such a grave offences, the way they arrest on the, and Vienna Convention is absolutely clear that even a consulate, she is a Consul General that day, is arrested, they should be treated, only they can be arrested on the grave offence, and they should be treated with dignity. Was it done here? Is not, my daughter is a very senior diplomat, she is a Consul General, she represents the India on that day. And how does they say that she doesn't enjoy the immunity? Any layman who read the Vienna Convention will understand that she enjoyed the immunity and she deserved the dignity of the post.
Sir, does it speak volumes about the US attitude, because they've done it with a diplomat who comes from a very friendly nation?
Of course it is. And I tell you, the real intention seems to be something else. Not this document. Where is that? You have seen the document. Where is the criminal? Who got benefit out of this document? Did we get any? Did my daughter got a visa? It is that criminal lady who is absconding, for whom arrest warrant is issued by the government of India. She used this document. She got the visa. And that too, this document was executed in India, territorial jurisdiction in India. And my daughter is treated the way. It is absolutely clear the motive is something else. Motive is political, and it is moral and legal duty of the government of India to get my daughter safely. I am afraid for her life. I am afraid for her liberty. I urge through you, President of India, I urge through you, Prime Minister of India, Chairperson Sonia Gandhi, get my daughter back. She has not done anything, and she went there at your instruction. She was working for you. You can't treat my daughter like this.
I don't know what courtesies should or should not have been extended to a foreign diplomat who is accused of a crime.
Right.
But it would be helpful for everybody to understand if they are entitled to any kind of special treatment or not.
Right. No, and it's a totally fair question. Again, our diplomatic security folks followed our standard procedures. which I'm assuming are standard for diplomats, because that's who our diplomatic security deals with. I can't speak for the U.S. Marshals, obviously. That's for them to speak to, but I'll check and see if I have any more.
Just a quick, is the diplomatic immunity only up to your diplomatic services, your diplomatic actions, or is it to the person? Like, how do you define it? Why this?
Well, there's
raised?
diplomatic immunity. There's consular immunity under the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations. The Indian Deputy Consul General enjoys immunity from the jurisdiction of U.S. courts only with respect to acts performed in the exercise of consular functions. Again, there's different kinds of immunity. This isn't just in the U.S., it's all around the world. So in this case, she fell under that specific kind of immunity and would be liable to arrest pending trial pursuant of felony arrest warrant.
There is huge outrage in India over the humiliation of Indian diplomat in New York. But the US says it's business as usual. Today the Obama administration told journalists that Vienna Convention was fully followed, but it looks like it is snowballing into a big diplomatic standoff. Tejinder Singh for Times Now in Washington, D.C.